I'm Katrina, and this is So and Tare. And today, it's time to plant something. I hope everyone watched my nursery haul video, watched that video before this, and you know what I'm going to plant. Let's get planting. Okay, I am thinking this bed here, this kind of horseshoe-shaped bed. Last year we had tomatoes. Year before that we had green beans. So this year I'm going to do green beans and the summer squashes. So I'm not planning on planting any winter squashes. If any pop up, that's fine. I'll let them grow and nourish them. But I think doing summer squashes and green beans here, I'm rethinking. Yeah. I am rethinking. I think actually doing summer squashes and cucumbers in this bed will be really good because the cucumbers will grow up and the summer squashes will grow out. And it will be a jungle, as much of the yard is, but I'm okay with that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I have 7 summer squashes to plant and a lot of cucumbers. So the cucumbers are probably going to go in a couple different places. So, yay. I do plant my plants with a mycorrhizae. I'm not dedicated to one brand or the other. This is just mycorrhizae of some sort. I like the powder better than the granules because it can just coat it on there. But mycorrhizae is a fungus. I'll actually put a link up here. I think I did a video on that. But it's a fungus. It's not just one type of fungus. It's many different types of fungus. And it really helps the roots get the right nutrients. So it can go in and amongst the soil, and it's the cracks within the soil that are even smaller than the roots can get to, and it actually acts as a communication highway between the plants as well. So it's pretty darn cool. And they sell mycorrhizae in multiple different brands, multiple different things, but it'll tell you it has so many different kinds of them in there. Yeah, 5 species is what this one has. And pretty much if you're getting something for gardening, you're going to have a correct mix. But there are different species of mycorrhizae that pair best with different species of plants, which makes sense. So they have a symbiotic relationship, and I like to facilitate that. Now, if you have, if you're growing stuff in your own yard, you're growing stuff in a forest, you're growing stuff in whatever, you can actually see this. Like, I have the wood chips here, they break down. If I kind of turn it over, I'll see these white stringy strands, and that is the mycorrhizae. So you can grow it yourself, but I figure it's good practice to bring in different mycorrhizae and have a good community. So here we go. Alright, the 2 squash I have are the Mexican Gray and the Black Beauty. I think I'm just going to 7. 1, 2, 3. I'm probably comfortable planting 5 here, and I'll probably alternate. I'll probably do the Mexican Gray and on either end in the middle, so that'll get all these planted out. And then I'll do 2 of these Black Beauties. I may end up giving the other 2 away, or I may end up planting somewhere else. So we'll see what happens. This is what the mycorrhizae looks like. It's a powder. I simply, well, this one I'm just gonna dab because it's very few roots. But I dab the roots in there, and I'm gonna plant this. Now you can't see there's a bunch of volunteer beets or chard there. And that's okay. I'm going to plant near them, and whatever comes up through, and whatever doesn't. Now I am pulling up some of these poppies. I generally let them grow until I plant things, and then I use them as mulch. They make really good green mulch. This bed is really wet, so I'm not sure if we got more rain than the rain gauge said, or if this is leaking a little. So I'm going to investigate that this coming week. Now, even though these flowers are lovely, I am going to have to trim this bush back because I need to have room. Alright, since I don't know exactly how these grow, I've never grown them before. It says it's mini-me cucumber. They're supposed to be small, and they say to plant 12 to 24 inches apart. Now that's usually when they give you planting instructions for something that climbs, they're giving you planting instructions for in the field. They're not giving you planting instructions for it climbing. So I think we can put these probably every 24 inches. How many is in here? Again, how many? These are cucumbers. How many did you get in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. This is more than a 6-pack in one. And it costs less than a 6-pack. I think that'll pretty much do this bed, and then I will do something else with the other cucumbers. Buy plants. Find out where you're planting them later. I'm going to put this tag in here because I'm unfamiliar with the variety. I tend to tuck the tags right behind the stones here so that I know the sun's not going to fade them. That's something that happens. I think what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to plant them in twos. I think I'm going to plant them in twos because that is, they're going to be climbing. I think that will work pretty good. That way I can plant more over here as well. Now, ordinarily I have my mycorrhizae in a shaker. I can't find that shaker. I should not be putting wet hands in here, but I am. So, do what I say, not what I do. I am going to plant some of the melons on the trellis going over the pathway, so I'm going to plant these kind of this way to make sure they get on the correct trellis, and then hopefully I'll be around and cognizant of it when I am in the garden. Guys, I have tomatoes coming up. Let me plant these and then I'll bring you in. There's 2 tomatoes over here. It's tomatoes. So I guess we're having tomatoes here too. This is about 18 inches apart, I think. But they are going up. So always remember that rule of why they're telling you the planting distance is because they're expecting you to plant it on the ground, like sprawling on the ground. Alright, those minis are in. Alright, I think I have room to plant both the Persian and the pickling cucumber, so we're going to try that. I will be trimming back this peach tree here that was self-seeded. It is, it has peach leaf curl like all the other peaches here, but I figure I don't really want this area shaded out, so I think I'm going to cut it down. I wasn't going to, but I think I am. I'm going to do the pickling cucumber first, because I think I can, it looks like the body of it is more kind of the typical warty of a pickle. So I'll be able to distinguish between here and here. Ooh, another tomato. We're going to have tomatoes in here too. Oh no. When they packed them, it looks like it took the heads off 2 of them. I'm not going to cut it off. I'll hope that it stays on. I'm just going to put all this in at once. That sucks. So just put it here. I'm just going to stick this in the bed here. And for these two, I'm going to split it in, for this Persian, I'm going to split it into two groups of well, yeah, 1 and 2. Alright, so we planted all the summer squash I'm going to plant, and we planted all the cucumbers I'm going to plant except for Armenian. We have four Armenian to find a home. But first I'm going to plant the melons, I think. Alright, we have our honeydew and we have our melon, or our cantaloupe. So I'm going to plant, these have 4 and this has 3. So I'm going to plant the cantaloupe here on this bed and then on the other side of the trellis. And then I'm going to plant the honeydew on the other side of the next trellis. So there's our trellises. So honeydew is going here and here, and honeydew is going here and on the other side. Well, maybe just the other side. Okay, so tomato there, tomato there, tomato there, tomato there. There's so many tomatoes, guys. Guys, here's a tomato here, 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 here. Oh, there's another one there. We're gonna have tomatoes here, so I'm gonna plant these closer that way. I think I am gonna separate them. Alright, then this one can go over here, and hopefully I'll be able to train it to go over. Get the other two on the other side. This bed is a bit of a mess. This is I think it's a chard. I don't think it's a beet, I think it's a chard. There's another one that came up. Okay. This is gonna seed. I'm gonna let that self-seed. But I need to get in there. I'm gonna have to trim some of this back. The chickens will love this. Alright, let me give these to the chickens. Because there's so much going on in here, I'm actually going to plant both of these right here and direct them wherever they go, they can live. They have this side, they also have another trellis here, so I'm going to let them decide as long as they grow up. Always a good day when you dig up a fat worm. Alright, so hopefully that does well there. I will come back and trim this out a little bit so it gets more sun, but it will hopefully do good there. Now this bed here is where I want to plant my tomatoes, but as you can see, it is a grass bed right now. So I'm going to plant the honeydew along that side so they can grow that way, and then the tomatoes will go in here. This is a long-standing sweet potato bed, and there are some sweet potatoes in there. There hasn't been as many as years prior, so whatever's growing is growing. And I did not even bother to harvest last year because 1, it was wet when it was time to harvest, and 2, there wasn't very many, so I wanted to give them a chance to increase the population and give me more in the future. Now this is also the bed that I did sprinkle turnip seeds in, so I'm not going to pull those up. I also have a really big beet here that left its seed, so that's also, I can see some of those as well. I don't know that I can tell the difference right now, but that is also there. So I'm going to concentrate on getting things planted around that. So again, we have 3 honeydew, green flesh honeydew. Now for those that can't see what the line is and may not be familiar with my gardening techniques, there is an actual bed here. There's these chunks of urbanite here that I jackhammered up from this park strip, and next to that is a very deep pathway made of wood chips, which also has some management purposes for me. So it makes really great compost, and I put that back into the system. So this pathway is actually quite deep because this is a raised bed, even though it's even with the wood chips right now. Here is that old beet. It rotted at the bottom. I'm going to move it. This is from another beet that grew next to that one beet. and some grass. These are eventually going to go into the chickens. So the edge of the bed is actually right here. My foot over here is off the bed. Never walk on your raised beds, guys. So it goes like this. So I'm going to plant, I think I just plant the whole, I think I have 3. I'm just going to plant them all together right at the edge, and then we can direct their climb this way. Alright, it's starting to sprinkle, so I'm going to plant these quickly. There are 4 Armenian cucumbers in here. I'm going to put them in 2 bunches, and then it'll be planted. Alright, I moved you guys underneath this shade sail because the rain came faster than I thought. So Armenian cucumbers are actually melons, and if you let them get ripe, then they'll be a light, a very, very light cantaloupe color, but they taste very disappointing as a melon. So if you eat them earlier as a cucumber, they taste like a cucumber, and they do really, really well for dry areas and hot areas. So if you struggle growing cucumber, grow Armenian cucumbers and borage, guys. Borage tastes like cucumber. There are so many baby beets over here. All right. There we go. All right, guys, it is raining. I will have to do the tomatoes and the caraway another day. I'll probably do the beans then as well. And yeah, I hope you're having fun planting things. If you haven't planted seeds like I didn't get to this year, it's fine. Nurseries have them. It'll be more expensive than if you were to grow your own from seed, but they're still gonna be cheaper than buying that food from the grocery store. So do it, grow things, get fun hands like me. And thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed, consider subscribing, and have a wonderful day.